Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life show. When you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? We all do. It's been programmed right into us. But what if we flip that whole idea on its head? Let's discover how we can create chronic health in our bodies, our minds, our finances, our relationships, and of course, in our lives. Hi, I'm Andy Nam, and joining me in almost everything in my life is my life partner and dear wife, Minowa.
Almost everything.
Almost everything.
Except the bathroom, definitely. So, have I told you that I failed kindergarten?
No, you did not tell me you failed kindergarten.
So, here's a full story. I have two older sisters, right? And they both went to a Catholic school. So, when it's my turn to go to school, my parents just assumed I'm going to go to the same school. So, when they take me to register for kindergarten, that was like I was 4 years old. And they said, you need to take an entrance exam. So they put me into this room and they hand me these flashcards with words on it. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. And they failed me. Right? Because my sisters, they went to like pre-kindergarten stuff. So they actually know those words when they took those tests. I didn't. My parents didn't bother sending me to the schools. I mean, talk about unfair treatment. So I failed kindergarten. And thank goodness my grandmother's best friend, she's a headmaster's at one of the other schools.
Okay.
And that's where I end up because they didn't ask me to read those words.
So you're lucky that you had connections even when you were in kindergarten.
So that's one lesson. The other lesson is because I am, we're born on April Fools, right?
Of
so
course.
We're considered to be like stupid if you're looking for signs. And that kind of confirms, to my parents' mind, I think that confirms to them that I'm the dumb one. That would never be very good in school. So I think actually that's why they're not very much on my case too much. Because I'm like a B student at best.
Oh my God, that's too funny. But the joke's on them because out of the three daughters, you seem to be the most successful one. So good for you.
Well, no, I'm successful.
I mean, in life. It's not always about money.
Are you considering you as like my success?
Oh, for sure. You're successful because of your partner's success, right? It's all in a partnership, right? Chronically healthy, right?
Okay. But then when I moved to Canada when I was 16, it was like it's a shock to me because then all of a sudden I don't know what they're saying. Right, and they could be saying the F word to me. Actually, some actually do say the F word to me. I'm like, hey, what is it? What does that mean?
Correct.
And that's just, I guess that's how stupid I am at the time.
Well, it is funny because English is our second language, right? And I obviously not as famous you failing, kindergarten. Right. But I do remember in grade 5 when my phys ed teacher, which was also my homeschool teacher, like homeroom teacher, was picking on me because I couldn't say the TH sound. I was using the sound, right? Like with the F words, right? but so I wouldn't be able to say Thor. I would say Thor.
Like my nephew say, he couldn't say truck, he say.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it was frustrating because like I said, they didn't actually teach us that in school, or if they did, maybe I wasn't paying attention. But either way, for me, it was a little bit difficult. And of course, with all the embarrassment, eventually you learn it, right? And it was funny because he picked on me in class, but when he found out that I was a runner, of course, I become a superstar in track right now, and then he likes me. But I tell you, you always have these love-hate relationships growing up with your teachers, and school growing up is no joke. It can you can really give you really happy memories, or in some cases, like your kindergarten, it could scar you for life.
It's definitely scarred me for life and my parents.
Right.
And that this whole language thing is it's actually essential, right? I know I keep picking at parents because they just couldn't speak it,
Yes.
and it's actually almost dangerous to them nowadays because they couldn't speak it.
Yes. Oh well,
Right?
look
They
at my
couldn't even get
parents, right?
by.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, the interesting thing is, it's like people read the reading skills nowadays, the math skills is so bad, like so bad in the younger generation. Because you know, I remember I was like learning like time, you know, multiplication tables and stuff, and of course everything was memorization and everything. We memorize our, you know, home phone numbers or addresses or your friends' addresses, your friends' phone numbers. And the funny thing is, like, we got trained so well back then. I can still remember my original address when I was in kindergarten, but I cannot remember the address I lived like 10 years ago, which is like how crazy it is. And my original very first phone number, I came to Vancouver. Oh my gosh, that's like 55 years ago. I still remember that phone number. And yet, you know, like all these other numbers I had over the years, I don't remember. So, you know, how you train your mind is so important in those early years.
Yeah, and different languages has different ways to learn it. The Asian languages is obviously different than like the Latin-based languages.
Mhm.
Now that we know English, Spanish actually isn't all that hard because
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
a
lot of
little bit easier. Yeah,
similarities like
correct,
Italian or even French, right? You know
correct,
French a little bit too. So
correct.
once you start learning it, it's easier, but everything has a little nuances to it too.
Exactly. But, you know, I think the importance is having a system to learn it, you know, something that can break it down to make things easier for you. Because I just find now schools, you know, not bashing Indian genders, don't want to get too political here, but you know, they just don't take the time to make sure you're getting ahead. Because like, you know, I think I read somewhere recently that like a high school student can't even read. How the hell did he get into high school if he can't read? It's sort of insane to me that they would pass someone from elementary into middle school to allow you to go into high school if you can't read, right? So these are very, very important skills: how to read, you know, how to pronounce words and stuff like that. And you know, even math, I think is so important.
Oh, math is actually easy for us.
Well, for most Asians. You know, I think I lost. You know, my Asian gene got dropped there for somehow. I don't know what happened there. Skipped me a little bit.
But I think it comes down to foundation, right? If you know
Mhm.
how the additions, the subtractions, then as you progress to like the deeper mathematics or whatever sciences you decide to go, that is still your basics. So you once you have your foundation, you can figure it out.
That's so true. You know, like all the fundamentals for the math, you know, jokes aside, that I do understand. It's just when they start using these crazy formulas that you'd never use in real life, yeah, I wasn't very good enough.
Yeah, that's okay. We just get through it and you'll be done with it.
But on a side note, you know, we're going to be happy, and we're going to have a fun episode, something a little bit different. You know, we're going to be diving in with our co-host Kristy as she launches a new product, and we really want to share the importance of how this can change, you know, children's lives, but more importantly, the parents' lives, how much easier it is to educate their children in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, you've met Kristy. She's always the one that's interviewing others. Now you see how she is when we interview him, and now you can
Exactly.
actually learn what Kristy actually does.
Exactly. So we'll be right back after the short break.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully. A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science, at longevity, at exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Why do 98% of beauty enthusiasts rave about coolness? It's all in the blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. Introducing Coolness Pearlescent Face and Eye Serum Cream. This powerhouse combines the antioxidative power of schisandra berries, the glow of pearl powder, and the hydrating wonders of dragon's blood extract. It's like a time machine for your skin, making it radiant, firm, and oh so smooth. Inspired by ancient Chinese traditions and backed by modern nutritional science, this serum cream is perfect for dry, mature, and aging skin. Say goodbye to dullness and hello to youthful radiance. And guess what? For a limited time, you get a free cooling eye cream applicator with your purchase. It's time to unlock your inner glow with coolness. So what are you waiting for? Treat your skin to the best of both worlds today.
Imagine a life where every day is fueled by energy, vitality, and purpose. Where age is just a number and your best years are always ahead. Hi, I'm Andy Nam, certified functional nutrition longevity coach, best-selling author, and international speaker. After reversing my own chronic health struggles, I'm now on a mission to help you live longer, stronger, and of course to look younger. I combine biohacking, cutting-edge nutrition, and stem cell technology to unlock your body's full potential. So no matter where your starting point is, I'm going to guide you toward a chronically healthy life. Ready to reverse aging and take control of your future? Connect with me today. Your journey to longevity starts here.
Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. So today we have our special guest is Kristy. Yay, Kristy!
Hi.
So let's start with what Kristy. Let's start your bio first. Kristy Boyd Johnson isn't your average teacher. She is a 30-year education powerhouse who's done it all, from rocking classrooms to tutoring kids with learning differences, championing their rights, and even homeschooling like a boss. Kristy's been there, done that. She's seen the good, the bad, the downright frustrating in the school system. But instead of throwing in a towel, she's been cooking up a revolution. Enter Barefoot Learning Club, Kristy's brainchild and the ultimate game changer for education. It's not about cramming facts. It's about teaching kids how to learn in a relaxed and fun way, flipping the script for students, parents, and teachers alike. So you want education with a side of sass and serious heart? Kristy's a go-to. She's not just teaching, she's rewriting the rules. Kristy, welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be on this side.
So how does it feel to be on the other side?
Great. I've been looking forward to it. It's why not? Why not have some fun tonight?
So Kristy, we've known you for a few years and you've always been different. Let me just say that. You always do like the revolutionize the education system. And we don't have kids, so we don't really pay a whole lot of attention to education system, but you know a lot more than us. Why don't you tell us about how the system is broken these days?
Well, lots of people are talking about how broken the system is. Mm-hmm. I personally am thinking it's really not broken. I think it's doing exactly what it was intended to do, which is force kids to sit down all day, shut up, do what they're told, follow directions on a screen, use their little tech devices. Don't get, you get a 15-minute break and then a short lunch break and then another 15-minute break in the afternoon. And then, even homework is like, how many people have to take work home in order to keep their jobs because they're feeling like, it's just all designed to put them in a cubicle and create workers, not thinkers.
Well, for sure. Yeah, I remember I used to have so much homework that I stay up until 2 a.m. at night and then get up at 6 a.m. in the morning to go to school.
That is not healthy. That is not a chronically healthy life. That is
sure.
especially for children. I did that in college when it was insane, but after I graduated, I think I spent the whole summer sleeping, trying to get over.
Trying to catch up. Exactly.
But yeah, that is not a healthy way. It is not healthy to do that at all. And in fact, we need to completely just toss it aside. Even homeschooling, the big mistake with homeschooling is that they move school to their dining table. And then they're telling their kids to sit there and do their work, and they fill out worksheets. That's not learning. It's useless. It's a waste of time. Kindergarten nowadays, they spend the whole kindergarten year coloring worksheets with the letters and numbers on them. I mean, it's a rare teacher. I think there are teachers out there who are trying, but they get crushed. They get crushed. They're told, you're not following the approved curriculum, and and yelled at and put down, and it's rough out there.
It is. So the way I see it, the teaching and the learning is different, right? If I'm going to teach a kid and want my teaching to be easy, then I want a kid to just sit down and learn and don't say anything, right? That is like the best kid to teach, but that's not the best way for the kid to learn. Is that right?
That's right. Well, so we always have to remember that every kid is going to be unique. There are the really shy ones who are quiet, and sometimes those shy ones get slipped through the cracks because the teacher doesn't realize they're struggling. Or the flip side, they're such a good reader already, because there are those kids that'll read no matter what the school does to them. They're just kind of doing their own thing, and they're quiet, so they're not noticed with all the other stuff going on in the classroom. And so there's this wide variety. And then by the time the kids get to be about third grade, you start seeing a lot of behavior problems from kids who are frustrated, because it is a total myth. It maybe used to be that they would hold a kid back, but it's not true anymore. They just pass them. They're an assembly line. Schools are an assembly line. Pass them through, get them graduated, get the money for them, because funding is based on enrollment, so and test scores. So it's just that isn't teaching. That's a ridiculous business model.
It's interesting because, like Minna says, we don't have kids, but I have a lot of clients or friends with kids, and a lot of them, I remember before, when we were growing up in elementary school, at least in Canada, I'm sure it's very different in Hong Kong. We'll have one part of the day where we go to the library. We get, the librarian will read to us, and we all look forward to that story time or whatever. But they always encourage you to sign some books out of the library after that, so you're taking home and reading it. So, you're always gonna pick something, right? It could be Tintin, like for me, I was thinking Tintin, Archie's, and stuff like that. But it's still reading, right?
Yeah.
You say something that you enjoy, and they encourage that, right? And Tintin was actually pretty interesting with all the world adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I notice that kids are they're all on YouTube and everything. They're not actually reading. They're just listening, right? So, to me, it's like I was saying earlier in the beginning, is like, I think kids have lost their ability to read. Like, they can understand what's going on in the world, right? But, I don't think the parents know they can't read, and I think that's the biggest problem.
Yes, and that's actually kind of a twofold problem, because they've stripped the actual tools that the kids need to read away. I always say it's like, if you hand someone a hammer and a nail, and you say, okay, we're going to pound this nail into this piece of wood. All right. And you teach them how to do it. And then you take the hammer away and say, now put the nail in the wood. And the kids are going to struggle and try and fail every time, because you took the tool away that they need. And so some kids might pick up something else and try to, like screwdriver or something, and try to kind of make it work. And other kids are going to get frustrated and cry, and other kids are going to get angry. Other kids are going to punch the kid next to them. The reactions are unlimited, but I think a vast majority of the behavior problems that we see in school nowadays are directly related to the fact that they're being blamed for the fact that they can't read, because kids don't know you took the tools away.
Correct.
And the worst thing is that teachers who were kids in the 90s, that's when they really did a number on them with this whole language nonsense. They basically said, just guess. So now we have a whole bunch of teachers, young teachers in the schools they also have no tools. So the kids are struggling and they don't know what to do either. So if the kid gets, if they discover there's a dyslexia involved or something and they get them tested and they go to resource, the resource teacher might have extra stuff for them that helps them, supports them, but it still never gets down to the actual core of what they need to read. And it's so simple. At kindergarten, that's all that they should be teaching. In kindergarten through second grade, the only two academic subjects that should be taught are reading and math. That is it. They should not even be going into history and science and all this other stuff, because they don't have the foundation for it. Everything depends on reading, including math. Because, if you can't read the math problem, you're not going to be able to do the math. So,
right.
But if you can read and you're a strong reader, you can literally learn anything. So by third grade, you have strong readers, kids who can really read. They can start learning whatever they want. You have a science kid, they can read. They could look on, maybe find a science experiment like the volcano one. That one's always really fun because it goes. And there's all sorts of really cool, fun kid experiments I've been saving them for my classes that are really cool. But if the kids can't read the directions, they depend on someone to read to them. Yeah, when they're 5, yeah, of course. Those are complicated directions.
Correct.
But when they're 8, they should be able to read them themselves and do them and understand them. And I'd like to also point out the other side of that problem with watching the YouTube videos, watching movies. The other side of that problem is that they want to learn, and that's the only way they have now, because they're struggling to read.
Correct.
So they go to audiobooks, they go to movies, they go to YouTube. Because that's their only. Their auditory is the only way that they have a visual auditory, I guess, technically. You can see the video, but they don't have to read the directions. They can they can pause and follow the directions. And those kids are in survival mode. That isn't a way to live for anybody. We talk about our chronically healthy life all the time. Being in survival mode for anyone is not a way to live. We have to give those kids, we have to bring them in. Did you guys ever see the meme with the first day of kindergarten, in the morning going off to school, and the picture of the kid, he's got his little lunch box, and he's all neat and clean and everything. And then it's the end of the day, and his hair is all a mess. He's marked all up with markers. His lunch box is open. Things are spilling out. And he's like, and I thought, oh, that's painfully true. And it is completely and totally unnecessary. And so it's sad. It's really, really sad. We laugh because it's true.
Exactly. And it's interesting how you talk about the kids are learning through like iPads and computers and stuff like that, because it's like growing up, my parents, they couldn't speak English, so I had no help. I'm not saying my English is the best in the world, but you're going to have to learn. And I always remember wherever I was weak next to that teacher in grade 5, I'm not going to mention his name, but they were always very nice to, hey, this is something that you're weaker on, and they spend the time with me, right? But what I find now is, we're talking about this right before the show started. Like one of my clients, they're just saying now when the teachers are finding that the kids are falling behind, they said they have to go outside and anymore. It's not their problem anymore, right? They just have to go out and do it themselves and pay someone else for speech therapy and so on and so forth. And, how is the school system helping you, grow? And it seems to be taking away a lot of the creativity. Like they're almost building like followers rather than free thinkers, right? Like, they're not thinking for themselves anymore.
That's exactly what they're doing. And you take away art, you take away music, you take away drama, you take away, eventually they'll take away sports. Maybe not in high school, but for the littles, they get a 15-minute recess. That is not enough.
Exactly.
It's a neurological, it's proven that neurologically kids have to move. It's how they make the connections. I've had the experience of teaching them, and they come back from recess and they go, Mr. and they tell me what they figured out while they were at recess. And they're so excited and lit up. And you want teachers who create an environment in their room where the kids can tell them and they can get excited with them and support that. Those kids always do better. And those teachers always do better. Because but if they are like, okay, we don't have time for that right now. We have to get back to work. Sit down in your seat. That's a rough one. And sometimes it's rare. Luckily, it's rare to get one like that. I had one like that in 4th grade. She was a nightmare. And I think I made a vow somewhere deep inside me that I was never going to be like that. She was so mean. She'd call you names. She'd tell you to shut up. She was mean. I broke my foot and had a cast on. A kid tripped me, and she blamed me.
Wow.
So bad teacher. Yeah.
Yes.
Luckily, most teachers are not like that.
Exactly.
Have a heart for the kids, and the kids don't realize how much pressure the teachers are under. And so we have to stop blaming each other and start working together to work for the benefit of the kids. And then it starts to flow, and everyone just needs to chill and stop putting so much pressure on 5-year-olds. I think one of the craziest things I ever experienced, I was teaching resource, meaning like I had my kids in it. They have a thing called push in where the special ed teacher goes into the classroom with her group of kids. Okay. And they were teaching pre-algebra, and it was pre-algebra, and she puts an advanced geometry problem on the board and tells the kid to try to figure it out. And they were struggling. It wasn't hard. So I said to my group, okay, guys, this is how you do it. Yeah. And the teacher kept saying, it doesn't matter what the answer is. It only matters if you try to figure it out. And I'm like, I bet it matters when the test comes around. And so I taught my kids how to do it. And you know what they did? They went around the classroom and taught all the other kids how to do it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So Kristy, we're going to take a break now. And when we come back, I think you're going to show us your system, right?
A little bit. Yeah, a little taste.
Perfect. Love to dive into that.
Okay, we'll be right back.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things. Like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy. For improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being. With the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that can support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
Have you encountered a situation or an event in your life that's caused you to feel stuck? You were on a journey to live your best life, but thoughts and feelings from the past keep showing up and has caused you to feel like you're not headed in the right direction or being the best version of you. Meet Jessica Hammock, trauma recovery and transformation coach. Not only will she teach you about emotional and mental health, she's here to help you unwind the treasure of who you are from the trauma of your past so that you can walk in the truth of your identity and break free from what is holding you back so you're able to nurture the best version of who you're meant to be. The time is now. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. So, Kristy, what are you going to teach us?
Okay, so I would like, you guys are a little too old to be like I'm teaching the little kids. So we're going to pretend that you're in my summer camp and we're going to do fill in the gaps with some of these tools that have been taken away from you. Okay. Now, obviously I can't teach you everything in 15 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the very foundation of reading, which is phonics, but it's not just short and long A, it's phonograms. So a phonogram is a letter or a group of letters that all together make one sound at a time in a word. Okay, so we're going to learn the hardest one, which is this. Now with the kids, by the time we get to this one, they got it. They're like, bring it on, bring it on. We want something that's, give us a challenge. So do you have paper and pens?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
we do. Yes,
Okay.
we do.
So I'm not going to make you do everything, but what we're going to do is first we're going to learn the sounds and then we're going to play a challenge game. Okay.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say them first. The 6 sounds are O, oo, uff, off, ah, ow. Okay. So now say after me. O,
O,
oo,
oo,
uff,
uff,
Up,
off.
off,
off,
Like get off. Off.
off,
Aw. Like
aw,
aw, like oh, look at the kitty.
aw,
And ow, like ow, don't pinch me.
ow.
ow.
Okay. So now let's try to see if we can do it. We like to do it in a rhythm. It makes it easier. Okay. So O, oo,
Oh, ooh,
uff, off,
up, off,
aw, ow,
aw, ow,
And it's okay with me if you guys want to do the sounds, if you want to go, aw, and ow, that's okay because that helps you remember. Okay. They're like little mini, what's that thing where you, mnemonics. Okay. So now you know the 6 sounds. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see, if we were teaching this, they would understand that understanding the sounds. Oh, and by the way, the order is the most often used from most often to least often. This helps you when you see a word you're not familiar with, but you see this pattern, you can plug in the sounds until you get to a word that actually makes sense. Okay. So let's try one. Okay. All right.
No.
So okay, let's try this first word. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit and I'm going to tell you this is the first sound. Okay. So the way we would mark it is with a 1 because it's the first sound. So what's the word?
Though.
Though.
Yes, Minna. Minna takes the lead. Andy, you better.
I was going to say faux. That's how I used to say it.
Okay. All right. Now let's try another one. And again, I'm going to cheat and tell you it's the second sound.
Through.
Oh, Minna, did you get it? Did he get you there?
Ow.
Okay. All right. Let's try another one.
Oh, ooh, oh, okay.
Oops.
What was the third sound?
No. Tough.
Yes. Yes. Do you want?
That was the third sound? Oh,
Yeah, off.
oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Off. Tough.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to pause right here for 1 second because I want to make a point. Look how similar these words are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
True.
How are the kids supposed to know how to decode them and figure them out if they don't know the difference between a T that stands alone and a TH, which is a different phonogram and adds a different sound?
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair. It's not fair to the kids. They have to be taught that so that they can decode the word. And then what happens is decoding leads to comprehension. So when they are reading along and they're getting a flow and they're reading the words with some ease, then like the cat in the hat, then they start seeing a picture in their head and they go, oh, look, the cat's in there. And that's comprehension when you're engaging imagination, creativity, and everything else. So that would be part of my point. So let's try the next one. You guys might even be able to figure it out. What's the next sound?
Off. Off. Get off.
Okay, let's try it.
Trough.
Oh, Minna!
Oh, that's not true. That's just cheating. That's just cheating.
She got it. She got it without this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You are. Okay, let's try the next one. So what's the next sound?
Ow. Ooh.
You see the kitty?
Oh.
Okay, this is a fun one.
The thought.
Oh.
Yes. Now, in this word, look, there's a sound at the end.
Yeah.
So again, the kids need to understand that so that they decode properly. And one more. What's the last sound? Andy, you know it.
Ow.
Thou. No.
No, actually, that's a good guess, but thou is spelled THOU. There's no GH. So it is a different phonogram.
Oh, see, I'm so good in English, right? Bow.
Yes. And which bough is this? Is this bough or is it the bough of a tree?
It's about a tree.
Bow.
Oh, Minna. Yeah, Minna. All right.
You know, I was actually stumped there because I was going to say, what does that bow mean? So
Oh, that's
I
good.
didn't even know.
That's
I
a
learned
great
a new word today.
That's a great
Brownie.
question. That's a great question. It's important because there's so many homonyms that they sound the same, but they're spelled differently and they mean something different. I see bear and bear all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Bao means bun in Chinese.
Yes.
what? Say that again.
Bao, like pork buns, it's baos.
Bao in Chinese means what?
Buns.
Buns.
Buns?
You know, like the bread buns.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. That's cool. I learned a new word. I know ni hao.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to play a little game. Okay, where did I put my little cards? They're here somewhere. All right, our little game is, so I have this card here. I'm going to keep track.
Okay.
All right, and what we're going to do is you are going to look at the. It's not marked. You have to figure out the sound and say what you say. Say the sound that it is. If it's o, oo, uff, off, ow. Say the sound that you and it's okay to read the word aloud and then say the sound. Like, like thought, it's awe. It's okay to do that. Play with it, have fun, and you can also you can work together as a team if you need help with you. No, Minna's like, no.
I'll say the word first and then I'll say the sound.
Okay, ready?
Through.
Ooh.
That looks like teamwork to me. I think I'll give you each a point there. Because one of you said the word and one of you said the sound.
So you got the point. You got the point. Ow. No,
Not ow. Not ow.
Ooh.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. It's okay that you're struggling a little bit. I want you to plug the sounds in. So there's a t at the end. Oot. Is oot a word?
Oot. Ought.
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 Like
Ought. Like I ought to go to that. I ought to go to my class, but I don't feel like it. Ought.
Would that be all?
Yes. Yes.
It would be all.
It is awe. Yes. All right. Well, that one's for Minna. Minna got that one. Sorry, Andy.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Okay, here comes another. Ready?
Plow.
Ow.
Ow.
Yes. Yes. Now, to be fair, I did this on purpose. This is actually nowadays in England, they still spell plow this way, but in America, we spell it P-L-O-W. But I still think it's important to know because, you don't always read books by American authors. So, all right, I'm giving you each a point for that one. You got that one. Okay, here comes the next one.
Enough.
Huff.
Right? You guys are rocking it. Totally rocking it. Although Minna is slightly ahead, Andy.
That's all right. I let her play the mind games. I let her be ahead.
Okay.
Dough.
Oh.
I love your teamwork. You really are. You guys have the best teamwork. Okay, here comes one.
So was that dough a lot of money or a lot of flour?
That dough, slang, it's dough meaning money, but the real word is dough, like a bread dough.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm needing the dough. Actually, donut is actually spelled, the proper way to spell donut is to use this and put N-U-T on the end. But everybody goes D-O-N-U-T now. So,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
Cough.
Off.
Right. You guys got it now. See how fast you got it? Look how fast you got it. Now, every time you see an OUGH word, you're going to go, which one is it? You're going to be decoding. All right, here comes another one.
Bot.
Oh.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, here comes one. How about this one?
Rough.
Off.
You got it. You guys, you rocking it. Look at this. No problem at all.
Drought.
Oh.
Did you get that one?
Ow?
Yeah, it's out. It's drought. Like we don't have any rain, there's a drought. Yeah. I think we're giving that one to Minna, Andy. Sorry. All right. So Andy, you have 7. Minna, you have 9. And now, but here comes, these are the challenge words. 2 more words. These are the challenge words. They're each worth 2 points. Okay. Ready?
Not.
Ought. Oh. Oh.
You got
How.
Is it nout?
Not.
Not.
Not. Yes.
Ought.
Not.
Yes.
No.
If you took this off, it would be ought.
Yeah.
Not. Yes. That is correct. All right. I'm giving you each 2 points for that one. 1, 2.
See, I got
Okay.
2
And then
points.
here's our last one. This is the biggest challenge. Okay.
So.
So.
No.
No.
So.
No.
So. Self.
Sow.
Su.
What did you say, Minna?
So. Su.
Okay, let's try the first. Let's try the first one. So try the first one. O.
So.
Second one.
What was the second one?
Sue. It's not Sue. Try the third one.
Which one's the surf one?
Remember?
Off. Off. Off.
Self.
Off.
Soft. Soft.
Soft. Soft.
Self.
Soft. This is a very obscure word.
Soft.
So I tried to trick that. I know I'm not trying to trick you, but I am trying to trick you. We're playing a little game.
You do not teach that kid to little that word to little kids, do you?
I do. I
Wow.
do. Now when they're learning and I do. I will actually, of course, I'll mark it.
And is that a real word, Kristy?
It is a real word.
So you're saying it's like soft as an S-O-F-T,
No.
but just spelled
Soft.
no.
Soft. It's like
As in stuff. But
no,
soft.
it's like if soft, it's a we're running out of time. It's actually probably not used in American English anymore, but it is used in British English.
Oh, okay.
So, but I would mark it like this for the kids so that they would. The 3 means it's the third sound.
No, what does the word mean?
Oh, soft, like the wind stuffed through the trees. It's like sighed. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But you probably have never heard that word before.
Never.
So, yeah, because it's probably not really used in American English so much anymore.
I'm gonna check if that's even a word after the show.
Okay. Challenge accepted. Now, if you were in my class and older kids, I would challenge you to do exactly that. Go out and find words and stump me, you guys. See if you can stump me. And then also, if you really want to challenge, use it in a sentence and see if you can stump each other. And we would have fun with it. Because do you feel how light it was? Did you feel like threatened or like you
No, it was fun. It was actually fun. Yeah.
That's what we want. We want you to feel engaged. We want you to feel like you're learning and you kind of almost don't know you're learning, but look at, you've already got it. So in 15 minutes.
The last one. I'm actually disappointed. I thought this was going to be easy.
It's not easy, but kindergartners can learn it. So you can too, Andy.
Oh my God.
Then I'm teasing. And I love Andy and Minna, just for the record. They've been friends of mine for a long time.
So, Kristy, why don't you tell our viewers how they can find you and learn all this great fun stuff?
All right. Well, actually, Andy just helped me get my website up, and it's barefootlearningclub.com, and it's live for sure. We tested it. And it has all the information for my summer camps, fill in the gap summer camp that I'm doing via Zoom so that people can come from wherever and do it this summer. Super easy, super fun. And 2 groups, one younger kids from 8 to 11 and a teens group. And then you can email me at barefootlearningclub@gmail.com, or you can find me at LinkedIn, Kristy Boyd Johnson. You'll find me there. And, the QR code goes to my Calendly if you want to jump on there and talk to me. I'm great with that. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions or, play with you a little bit because, life should be fun. So should teaching.
Yeah. Kristy, I want to thank you. This is a fun session. I mean, normally we have guests and, we have fun a different way, but this is more fun to me.
Yeah, the practice was engaging and we actually learned something. And before you go, how do we use that last word in a sentence again? What does it actually mean?
It's like the wind soughed through the trees.
So it's like blowing through the trees?
Yeah, like that when the leaves are when the wind's going through the trees and you can hear the leaves and it's like, oh, it's so relaxing. Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to use that next time I hear the wind blowing and I'm going to see people look at me funny.
And then ask them if they can spell it.
Don't you just like how the wind sucks through the trees and just look at me,
That's exactly right. And that's the fun. Go do that and see what happens.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Kristy. We'll be right back, right after your Kristy's Corner.
Kristy's Corner. Kids Corner.
Kids Corner. There we go.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. Kristy here. So I wanted to give you a tip for Kids Corner this week on traveling with kids. One of the best and easiest things to do is to give each one of your kids their very own travel bag. It can be this kind of bag or it can be a backpack. It doesn't really matter as long as each kid has their own. Then what you put in the bag depends on what the kid likes. So if you have a reader kid, pack a book. If you have a kid who likes to write or draw or color, pack a simple notebook and some color pens or pencils make it fun. Or coloring books with crayons. Simple. A deck of cards, great, because the kids can play games together while they're traveling. If you choose to have a device like an iPad, that's a really easy thing to put in the bag and just make sure they have their own earphones. And then another really simple thing is a small pillow and a blanket. You never know if an airplane is going to be really cold. So it's always good to have a little blanket and a little pillow if they want to sleep. Last but not least, you want to pack snacks. That little snack size bags like this of healthy snacks, preferably not candy because that tends to zoom them up high and then crash them. And then you have a whiny child on an airplane and nobody likes that. So healthier snacks that they like, maybe a little treat for later, but just nothing too big. So it's a simple travel hack, a travel bag for each kid. That's their carry-on. And then you get a lot of peace and quiet on your airplane trips. Okay, that's it for now. Ciao for now.
Welcome to a reimagined world where kids can't wait to go to school, beg for books to read. Math is an exciting game, and teachers get to love teaching again. Meet Kristy Boyd Johnson. She's been in the trenches and emerged with the keys to making education a fun, free, and inspiring experience. Email her at barefootlearningclub@gmail.com and chat with her one-on-one. Her philosophy? Foundation plus imagination equals genius.
Well, so that was fun.
Obviously, my English hasn't gotten too much better over the years. That was a disappointment. But no, see, it is interesting in learning a different language or even improving English. That was actually really fun. And that was surprisingly easy. I don't know if she was actually taking it easy on us, so she doesn't embarrass us on air. Right. But no, that was definitely fun. And I think that a lot of people, their parents, a lot of the parents out there, they should definitely check out her website, barefootlearningclub.com, because I know she has a summer program going on. And, this would be a great way to supplement school, or if you plan on going to homeschooling programs, it's going to get your kids so much better prepared.
For sure. And next week, we have an intuitive healer.
Yes. His name is Cable Jones. And, I think it's going to be another fun episode because from what we understand, he might be doing some readings if we can get some people calling in live. So it's going to be interesting.
Awesome. So join us back here on Friday, 7 p.m. CST. We're on e360tv.com in the Vitality TV network. We are also on YouTube at Chronically Healthy Life.
And of course, download our free book at longevitiesandnewlword.com or set up a free consult with me at longevitywithandy.com. And of course, if you want to check out Minna's new skincare line, check it out at coolness.com.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you all next week.